You need help. You know exactly who you could call. You even open their contact. And then you put your phone down. They're probably busy. You don't want to bother them. And honestly, you don't want to admit that you need help. We've all done this. So why is asking for help so hard? There are a lot of reasons. Maybe you don't want to look weak. You want to be the person who has it together. Sometimes you don't want to become someone else's problem. They have their own life, their own problems. Why should they have to deal with yours? Sometimes you're afraid they'll say no, because asking for help means giving someone the chance to say no. And there's another reason that's easy to miss. You might wonder, is this really serious enough to ask? Can I handle it myself? Am I making too big a deal out of this? Shouldn't I just figure it out? So you wait and wait until the problem becomes much harder than it needed to be. This makes a lot of sense in a culture that values independence. We're taught to solve our own problems, take care of ourselves, make our own decisions, build our own lives. And there's nothing wrong with that. Being independent is a strength. Being able to say, I've got this, can feel empowering. But sometimes, I've got this quietly becomes, I should have this. And that's when independence can become pressure. If you're supposed to handle things on your own, then needing help can feel like you've failed. But here's something strange. When a friend is struggling, we usually don't judge them the way we judge ourselves. A friend says, I'm having a really hard time, and we don't think, you should be able to handle this. We think, what can I do? So why is it so much harder to give ourselves that same permission? Maybe asking for help isn't only about personality, it's also about what we've learned a relationship is supposed to look like. Consider something simple. A friend tells you, I'm moving this Saturday. One natural response is, let me know if you need anything. It sounds kind. It gives the person space. They decide what they need. And if they really need help, they can ask, actually, could you help me move on Saturday? But in Korea, especially between close friends, you might hear something different. Saturday? What time? I'll come help. You didn't ask. They just offered. Of course, this happens in many cultures, but in Korea, especially among close friends and family, this kind of proactive help can be more expected. And that's where things get interesting. How much should someone close to you notice without being asked? In Korea, especially among close friends and family, help can sometimes come before the request. A friend looks like they're having a difficult day. Instead of waiting for, I need help, someone might ask, what's wrong? Did you eat? Let's get something to eat. Or simply, I'll go with you. Sometimes the person doesn't have to explain everything first. Someone has already noticed. And there are small expressions that carry that feeling. I'll do it. I'll take you. I'll help. The interesting part isn't that people in Korea care more. It's that close relationships can sometimes come with an expectation to notice before someone asks. And here's where it gets complicated. Imagine a friend knows you're having a terrible week. They show up with food. No questions, no request, just, I brought you something to eat. One person might think, that's so sweet. Another might think, wait, I didn't ask for that. Neither reaction is necessarily wrong. Giving someone space can be kindness. But sometimes too much space can leave someone struggling alone. Stepping in can be kindness too. But sometimes it crosses a boundary. So where's the line? What if someone needs help, but doesn't know how to ask for it? And what if the person helping doesn't know whether to step in or step back? Maybe that's why asking for help isn't just about needing something. It's about vulnerability. It's about trust. And sometimes it's about what we've learned a close relationship is supposed to feel like. Some relationships say, I'll help if you ask. Others quietly say, you shouldn't have to ask me. Both can come from care, but both can go too far. One can leave someone feeling alone. The other can leave someone feeling like they have no room to decide for themselves. So maybe independence and connection don't have to compete. You can be capable and still need someone. You can solve most of your problems yourself and still say, I can't do this alone right now. We've spent so much time learning how to be independent, to solve our own problems, to take care of ourselves, to not rely too much on other people. But what if asking for help doesn't make you less independent? What if knowing when you need someone is actually part of knowing yourself? And what if letting people help you is also a way of letting them care about you? Because sometimes people don't need you to fix everything. They just want to know they don't have to carry it alone. Maybe we were never meant to do everything alone. What about you? When you need help, do you ask for it? Or do you usually wait until someone notices? Is it different in your culture? I'd love to hear your experience in the comments. And if you enjoy looking at everyday life from a different cultural perspective, subscribe and join me for the next one. Thanks for watching. See you next time. 다음에 또 봐요.